had to say on the subject, the day he and Arthur parted.
It was the last day they would spend together. The boy Arthur stood in the open, his few possessions gathered in a sack on his back. Looking over his shoulder, he searched for Merlin's cave, but it was no longer visible. A thick patch of woods had grown up overnight, swallowing up in shadowy darkness the opening to the crystal cave. Arthur felt a pang, knowing that losing Merlin would be a loss for all mortals, not just himself.
I won't be coming back, will I?
Merlin, who was standing by his side, shook his head.
No need to. You are done with me.
I doubt that I'll ever be done with you, Arthur thought. It seemed that after all his years of training, there was much more left to ask his teacher.
Merlin seemed to read his mind and said, I wanted to give you a parting gift, and I could think of nothing better than this.
So he pointed to the road beneath their feet, which had appeared overnight.
Roads are the sign of the wizard. Did you know that?
No, replied Arthur, letting his eye travel to where the road led out of the forest.
Then remember what I say. A wizard is one who teaches by walking away. And when you walk away, yourself, you will be a wizard. Walking a road is all we really do, any of us. Our life is an endless creation that must be welcomed in joy and then relinquished in joy. Although you may fancy that you own a part of this earth and its creations, in spirit you are the dust on the road, the wind in the wind. You mortals build homes to protect yourself from the world. To a wizard, home is this moment, and moments are always moving.
Moments moving on the road of time, Arthur said, finishing the sentence for him. He knew much of what Merlin had to teach by heart now.
Yes.
They both fell silent. The boy glanced out of the corner of his eye to see if Merlin was sad, or at least bemused by their parting. He was neither.
I see you don't quite believe me. But walking away from me really is the greatest gift I can bestow upon you.
And with that, the boy's feet started upon the road, and he took his way toward wherever it might lead. There was a bend in the road a few hundred yards away, and every step he took toward it seemed to change him a little. The years he had spent with Merlin began to fade into a dream, while his curiosity about the world increased. What were its wonders? What were its people? By the time he reached the bend in the road, Arthur couldn't wait to see what lay around it. All the hope and the desire of the world that he had never known became something he had to be a part of. Now his feet were flying in their eagerness to get out of the forest. The very image of Merlin faded from his mind until only a lingering voice remained, and it said,
I have led you into the secret places of your soul. Now you must find them again, this time by yourself.
In a moment, this voice also faded away. The boy reached the bend in the road, kicked up a puff of dust, and smiled. He knew now that every time he saw a road, he would think of Merlin.
I think we can agree that the wizard does lead us to the secret places of our souls, where the desire for freedom and fulfillment lives. The kind of knowledge we have experienced tonight opens a road that is to be traveled until all the secret desires come true. It was our pleasure to bring a few lessons forward out of the infinite knowledge that silence holds in store. Traveling the road of the wizard brings us all together until that day when living in unity is the accepted reality of every person who desires peace and fulfillment. Thank you.